kidding me. They're going
Never
crazy,
seen
huh?
anything like it in my life.
They finally got a star.
This woman, the attendance has gone from 4,000 a game to 17,500
Well,
a
I
game.
know who Caitlin Clark is. I didn't know if it translated. I knew she was
Unbelievable.
breaking records. I didn't know if it translated that into ticket sales. Because if it did, then ticket sales are going to really make a difference
And
in player pay.
when she's there, when she plays in any city, it's a sellout crowd.
Yeah, you
Love
can't
it.
even get tickets. It's impossible.
Right.
Yeah, female NBA, women's NBA star. So I'm going to go to Stormy Wellington first. Hi, Stormy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So amazing. Life is great.
Yeah, life is good.
Life is
So
great.
we've had for 3 days this customer challenge, and we've got a bunch of people in VIP who are just asking how to get more customers. So I want to since we have 5 of you, I want to take about 10 minutes from each of you and just rapid fire give people 10 minutes on how they can use your secrets, tricks, insights, tips, tactics, strategies to get more customers. I've challenged them to all get at least 10 customers by the end of this month as kind of a starter challenge inside of their business. They can do more than that. I know you could do more than that if you felt like it. You could do that in a day if you felt like it. But how many customers have you signed up since you started in your business?
So first of all, retail to recruit is my strategy. So
I
I don't
know.
even want, yeah, I don't even want a distributor without them trying the product first. So I couldn't tell you precisely, but I can tell you that I have
About
thousands of customers, thousands.
thousands and thousands of customers. Like in the last 6 months, how many customers have you added, would you say?
Oh my God, like 5,000.
Personally?
Yes, like 5,000. That's my game. Everything for me is the customers. I am not somebody who would even sign somebody up that doesn't love the product.
So is this messing with some of you that are like trying to get your 10 and she's saying that she got 5,000? Is it like hurting your head a little bit? Like what in the world? She's an example of what's possible, okay? She's an extreme example. She's at the top of her game. She's a phenom when it comes to gathering customers. So tell us how you do it.
So first of all, I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited that we're even talking about customers. I think that the cornerstone to our business is strong customers. I think that if you lead with the value of your product, I think that, there was a time where we talked about mindset only, personal development only. And do I believe that that's important inside of network marketing? Yes. But I do believe that your product has to work, whatever it is. And I tell you what helped me to change my perspective on that. Years ago, I was listening to an audio with Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about the business of the very first, the business of the business of the 21st century. And then as he talked about, network marketers, how basically if he had to start all over again, network marketing is a way, it's a great way for amateurs to get started. But this is what he said. He said, are you in a company that has amazing products? Do you have amazing services? If your company does not have a product or a service that you believe in, run from it. He said, if you believe that your product or your service will make somebody's life better, run to it. If you don't think your product will make somebody's life better, run away from it. And at the time, I was in a company that I was making nice money in, but I didn't really believe in the product all the way. And I remember that day on the plane, on the way to a meeting, getting emotional, saying, I don't know if this is for me anymore. And that was when the light bulb went off that the product does matter. The product that you're selling matters. So that's the first thing, making sure that you believe in the product that you're selling. I think a lot of people skip over using the product to try to make money from it. But my question that I'd ask you right now is like, are you really using your products? Do you personally use the product or the service that you're selling? Are you showing people how you integrate the product or service in your life? That's another thing. Showing people how to wrap their life around whatever your product or your service is. Like, I have a system. I have a life system. My life system is what I share with people. And it so happens to have a lot of my products involved. And so as you're living out loud, I live out loud. I do thousands of dollars worth of sales online. I tell you all, being transparent, my company has not yet streamlined the retail process. So I built my own website outside of the company's website to be able to take Apple Pay, because people love the simplicity of Apple Pay. So living your product or service, finding ways to subliminally plant the seed in your consumer's mind of life with the product that you have or life with the service that you have, and not being afraid to ask for the sale. I think one of the number one things that I do well is I'm not afraid to ask the person, hey, if it was one thing about your life that you could change, what would it be? And again, whatever your product or service is, it's your job to show them, the customer slash consumer, how that product or service that you represent can make their life better. And then once you do that, I believe in making a friend today. The fortune is really in the follow up. As you are developing customers, don't be afraid to give that customer a referral bonus if they give you referrals. Don't be afraid to say, do you have any friends that could benefit from this? Without trying to recruit them, ask them, do they have any friends that could benefit from this product or this service? And when they say yeah, depending on how much you make in your compensation plan from retail, you could give them a percentage of your sale without even trying to recruit them. And then by the time you develop that relationship with them through asking for referrals, giving them a $20 check, a $50 check, you'll be surprised how $20 can get somebody's attention. When they see the simplicity of how they got it, you'll be surprised how easy it could turn into, like, wait, talk more to me. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm big on earn now, learn later. And the only way I believe you can earn now, learn later is if you have, again, a good product or service that people gravitate towards, that they feel like they cannot live without. And again, I believe that it's our responsibility to create that value behind our product. It's kind of like if you're in the health and wellness industry, but you don't look like health and wellness. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to you. There's no trust with you, and then you begin to breed that in the people that you attract. Because if you are in the health and wellness industry, why don't you look like it? If you are in whatever industry, you should be a great representation of whatever it is you are selling. And again, in my 16 years, that has been what has always been my saving grace. Like, I keep it, a buck with you, right? I'm very much engaged in my company. I'm in the health and wellness industry, right? My company, we have weight loss energy supplements, and I always look good. I'm probably the best looking person in my company, and I'm probably one of the oldest women in my company, to be honest with you. And that's a big strategy. When people look at you, even your current distributors, like, let me tell you, we're always even re-recruiting our existing team. We're never stable even with our existing organization. And representing your product or service and looking like it and representing it with dignity and pride is going to help to keep your current team engaged. Imagine, me, going out gaining 50 pounds. No, it doesn't represent my business well. So I always look good. I'm always one of the best looking people in the group. I mean, to be honest with you, nobody ever looks better than me, and that's my pride. I think network marketing should be spelled Dignity, dignity. I think network marketing is a dignity driven business. And again, the customers drive the business.
Stormy, thank you so much. I mean, and I do think you are. I like the fact that you're just straight up and you're willing to show your muscles, and you're showing your abs, and you're showing all your stuff. You're showing your lifestyle. You're showing the weight loss and everything else. You're being a product of the product. You're being an example, and you're being bold. If you were a timid Stormy, you would get one level of success. But a bold Stormy gets a different level of success. And here's the message. You want to be so strong that people just will be your customers so they can be your friend. They'll be your customer just so they can spend some time with you, so they can get close to you, because you're that powerful. Now, you're not going to start that powerful. You're going to start borrowing other people's power, borrowing your company's power, borrowing your upline's power, whatever. But eventually, you gotta show up. I'm looking at the screen of the VIPs, and it's like, it's fine. It's fine. But my guests look different than you guys look. You're fine. It's okay. Love you. I'm just saying, everybody's always watching. Everybody's always watching. And they have the ability to greatly bless you if you give them an opportunity to do it. So show up, shine up, be as professional as you could possibly be, represent your brand, and be willing to ask for the order. All right, and that also means get your ass in shape. Yeah, Jeffrey, my friend Jeffrey Gittimer. How many years have we known each other, brother?
Long time, 90s, since the 90s.
Since like 1995, something
Yeah.
like that. So it's
Yeah.
so almost 30 years.
Yep.
Since then, you've written probably the best selling sales books in the world.
Yes.
The Little Red Book on Sales is probably the most famous, right?
Yep.
But Sales Bible, 21 Unbreakable Laws of Selling, the Sales Manifesto. He's this guy's a good friend. He's a great student of what we've done in our business. And Jeffrey, these people have products, network marketing products and services that they want to just get some more customers. So we're focused on customers right now more than we are in recruiting. What advice do you have for them to go to the warm market, cold market, hot market, and be able to create more sales?
Well, Eric, easily said, you have to keep the customers that you have loyal to you. That's not an option. And my question always is, how are you using your customers as a sales force? Because you're a party of one, you may have 1,000 customers, you got 1,000 salespeople. Why aren't they out there marching and just have every customer that you have bring you one new customer like them once a week, and you double your business in a month, triple your business in a month. So it's a matter of not just how do you recruit, but how do you value, what's the value process that you're giving them?
You're
So
talking
I have
about the
a
relation. You're talking about building a stronger relationship with the customers that you do get versus moving
Totally.
on.
I'm talking about turning relationships into friendships. All things being equal, people want to do business with their friends. All things being not quite so equal, people still want to do business with their friends. And so you have to decide how you want to value your friends and your friendships and make certain that these people, number one, see your sincerity. Number two, appreciate the value that you bring to them. And number three, trust you enough to bring someone else into the fold. That's a huge thing. My one-word definition of referral is risk. Someone is willing to risk another relationship and turn them over to you. That's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. So I'm going to throw this at you.
I heard one thing recently, Jeffrey, and tell me if you
Yeah.
agree with this or not. You're an expert. Instead of asking for a referral, ask for an introduction.
That's okay. I don't
Because
use the word referral.
People are more likely to introduce you to somebody than
Yeah.
refer you to somebody.
I don't accept
kind
a
of
referral.
emotionally.
Eric, I don't accept a referral unless it's a three-way introduction.
Introduction again.
Yeah, if somebody's not going to take me to lunch with somebody or have a cup of coffee with me or have a bagel with me in the morning, that's not my person.
Right.
And I want it to be on a friendly basis. And what happens is when someone brings someone to you, they start bragging about you. You don't have to say a word. And then it becomes a complete process. But I'm going to throw at you something that, I know you want some value. And the easiest way for me to give value is to throw challenge.
Do it.
And I have a podcast. My podcast is called Sell or Die. Because those are the only two options that you have. And so you either make the sale or you're dead. There's no second place in sales. It's first loser. And so I invite my customers to come on my podcast. And I invite them to tell their story. And I ballyhoo them and I talk about how great they are. What do you think they do with that podcast? They put it everywhere on the planet. And people will, hey, I get requests not to buy my business, but to be on my podcast. Hey, Jeffrey, can I be on your podcast? Sure. Now, some people I charge to be a guest. You know, if someone's promoting a book or something, I know I'm going to sell a lot of book, I'll charge them $1,000 to be on my podcast. I got 2.5 million downloads. I know I have podcast juice. But if you're building a downline and network marketing business, any kind of business, and you're not inviting people to feel your value, to feel that they're willing to talk about the experience with you, you got a problem. But
one thing I like about this is some of you might be intimidated by starting a podcast, but if you are, I promise you, I was intimidated too. I figured it out. Jeffrey figured it out. I'm sure he had people help him, like I'd had people help me.
Well, he needs an iPhone and internet.
I know, but you didn't do it by yourself. Somebody helped you.
Yes.
Right, and so somebody helped me too. What I would say is you can go live on social with your customers just the same.
Yes.
And split screen with them, and tag them on it, and they will share it with their whole world, and you'll get a very similar benefit that will be similarly sticky that you can do in addition to podcasts. So if you have some limiting belief around the technical issues of setting up a podcast, just go live with one of your customers and let them brag about their customer experience and use that as a tool.
I try to ask people what their 3 or 4 challenges have been and how they overcame them, so that they can potentially be inspirational to others, and it gives them some kind of archive. The podcast has like a magic word to it now, because it's still, you know, millions of people are doing podcasts, and there's a reason. The reason is they work, and so that's a challenge that everybody has to take. You know, Eric, thanks to you and other people along the way in my life, I have built a reputation that's I'm very proud of. I've named myself the King of Sales, and if you Google King of Sales, I pop up on the first like 5 pages, and that takes it takes guts, but the real word is it takes balls.
Chutzpah.
Yeah, chutzpah, exactly. If you have that, you can win. And if you're in network marketing of any kind, you have to have that leadership quality. You have to have that front of the room quality that will literally attract people. But I want to step on a myth. It's not the law of attraction. It's value attraction. If I perceive value in you, Sarah or Sean, I'm gonna click. If I don't perceive value, I'm never gonna click. Not even if it would help the space program. And
right.
So you have the obligation or the responsibility to make that happen. Now, I'm an expert at network marketing. I may be a world-class expert, but I'm not 100% positive. I'm real good at it, because that's how I started. Many people start in network marketing because it is the ground level personal development university of the world. You get a great attitude, you learn self-belief, you learn how to speak in public. It's phenomenal. I couldn't do, if I wasn't raised in New Jersey, sold in New York, and started in network marketing, I could never do what I do, ever.
Right.
So, that's where it's at. Now, what's next? well, what do you got to do next? And the answer is the elephant that's in the room that you don't want in the room. The answer is AI. And AI, and Eric Worre is the perfect candidate to make his program AI-able without
Yeah.
Eric being there, because he has so much content and he's so.
We've been telling them,
brilliant.
we've been telling them about it for 3 days. Some of them have made the decision. Others are still a little too intimidated. I'm of the belief you get in front of it, or it's going to run you over.
Correct.
You're going to get left behind.
What? Let me share with you something that someone shared with me. A question was asked, will AI replace me? And the answer is salespeople or business people who use AI will replace salespeople or business people that do not use AI. And it is just that simple. It's not going to go anywhere. It's an enhancement to life and career that we've never seen before. And you either get out in front of it or you get run over by it. It's just it's a simple process. And if you're going home at night and you drink a beer and watch Netflix, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're a total idiot. Well, I had to watch this week's Bachelorette. No, you don't. What you have to do is study AI so you can get ahead of the curve. The hell with tell it. Take your clicker, your remote, and throw it out the window, or give it to an idiot. That's one thing. Can I have the clicker? You can have it here. You can have my clicker forever.
Yeah.
I only
pass it to somebody else.
Even though I should not. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and she uses the clicker, and she's Emma Chamberlain. She's, the triplets. She's, I know what's happening on YouTube, and I will occasionally watch an episode of the Gilmore Girls, and we go to concerts together. Olivia Rodrigo, she's going out this week to see, I'll tell you in a second, new artists is amazing, but she just came back from Taylor Swift. My ex took her to London to see Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. I said, how was it, Gabrielle? She goes, best day of my life. I'm like, cool, way to go. Just totally cool. So Gracie Abrams is who she's going to see day after tomorrow. And your job is to keep up with what's now, what's new, and what's next, because they're your next customer.
Yeah.
And they got money.
Yeah.
They're going to decide how they're going to invest that money or spend it.
And people all over the world have problems that you have solutions to. But it's the most selfish thing in the world for you to not share the solution that you have with people who need it. You just got to get out of your fear, do the scary thing, and help people. Well,
here's the deal. I'm going to throw this up here at the risk of being too self-aggrandizing. But Gittimer.ai will at least give you an opportunity to decide how you want to play. But everything I've ever done is in one place. Eric, imagine everything you've ever done in one place that anybody can ask you any question, and the AI answers it in 2 seconds.
Right.
But
that's what we've done. Yeah.
There's a secret to AI. You have to be on the proprietary side. Because if you're going through an open source, not everything you say will be attributed to you.
Right. Because you've got to own your own process. And everybody here will have the ability to create their own AI at some point, and to be able to have it behind their own firewall to be able to manage their whole organization. Well, Jeffrey, I want to thank you for the time. I know it was short notice. I called you this morning from the middle of my workout and just said, hey, would my brother, are you available? And so thank you for doing that. And
I only cancel 20 things. It's no big deal, Eric.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Let me know how I can pay you back, okay?
It's not a payback. Anything you want the answer.
I know.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I love you, buddy.
All of you. Ann, nice to meet you. Sarah, nice to meet you. Sean, nice to meet you. You guys take care of your beautiful selves. I would recommend you stay away from idiots. There's a lot of them out there. And just go out and have a blast.
Love it. Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right,
Let's move on to Sarah Zalecki. Sarah, your hair is on point today.
Well, hey, I'm a product of the product, brother.
It's looking very, very strong. So,
Thank you. Your wife even sent me a message about it. So
yeah, it looks so good. So,
Thank
share with everybody how you and Tony have been super pros at adding customers to your business and teaching other people how to do the same thing.
Well, first of all, hi everybody. It's so good to be with you guys. It was kind of surreal having Jeffrey on. I actually saw him 20 years ago when I bought his little black book of like how to make connections. So it's kind of like it's kind of a crazy thing. But you know, I think Eric, it's what you teach all of us about promotions, right? And so learning that when you're acquiring, you know, customers, talking to customers, it really is about promotions and about making them feel VIP, right? When people feel special, like they love that, right? And I think, you know, one thing that is when I first got started in the business, I loved recruiting. I was very fearful of customers. And one of the things that I remember you always teaching us is you're like, hey, that same energy that you're giving with recruiting is the exact same energy that has to do with when it comes to getting customers. And for some reason, you've just told yourself you can't get customers, but it's exactly the same. It's the same energy. And that was kind of a big aha for me where I really thought, well, gosh, you know what if I actually started having conversations like I was having when it came to recruiting with getting to know people, building rapport? You know, could that actually change things for me? And, you know, one of the things that I did with getting, I would say like my first 20 customers is actually a concept that's called try, compare, feedback. Super basic, okay? But we all know that basic pays us millions, right? So get fired up about the basics. I think sometimes we try to get so fancy, right? And I don't know about you guys, but when I get really fancy, I get complicated and then it gets weird and then nobody buys, okay? So what I did is I thought about how do women buy? And we buy things based on wanting to try something new and compare it typically with something we're already currently using. So I just started using that verbiage when I talk to people. So if Ann and I were friends, I simply would go to Ann and say, hey, listen, I'm super excited. I'm promoting, you know, this new brand and I would love to see if you'd be willing to do me a favor. You know, I would love to have you go to the site. I know there's going to be a lot of things on there that you're going to want to try, but would you be willing to just try one thing? And from there, would you be willing to compare it with something you're currently using? And then after that, I would love to get your feedback. And I got so many customers that way because the way that I spoke to them was exactly how they think when they buy things. And so my first 10, 20, 25 customers really came from that try, compare feedback. And to this day, like I still teach brand new people that come on board in my business that simple concept because it comes from a place of authentic conversation. It doesn't get weird. It speaks to them right away. And it's something that people go, I can do that. But I think if we feel that sometimes we don't have like a template that we can work with, it gets scary. But if you think about try, compare, feedback, you're like, yeah, I do that all the time, right? Like think about the things in our life that we try something new because we compare it with something we're already using, right? And so that concept, Eric, I mean, I love it. I mean, we've crushed with it. I mean, our business, gosh, we have like 1.2 million customers in our team, and people love the simplicity of, I think that takes the scariness of like being a salesperson, even though we are all in sales, right? It's hard for sometimes for us to admit that we're in sales, but that takes the scariness away from people and it actually gets people into action immediately, right? Which is what we want to do personally, but also what we want our team to do as well.
Love that. Try, compare, feedback. I think that's excellent. It's the first time I've heard that. I'm surprised that I haven't heard that before, that you've used that and used that to such success. But just that simple concept. Please give it a try. You know, most of marketing is getting people to try something, compare it to something that you're doing, and then give me your feedback as to how it compares and what your results were. So excellent, fantastic. You know, it's funny how different truths kind of circle around each other. You know, this little approach works for some people. This approach works for other people. This approach works for a third group of people. Um, I'd love it if there was just one thing that you just say these words forever and you never have to like change it up. Nobody ever gets bored with it. Nobody ever gets tired of it. But we circle the same success concepts and we keep changing it up.
Yeah.
We have to freshen it up every once in a while. Otherwise, people just kind of like get bored going through the motions, right? Just the way it is. But Sarah, thank you for that. I think that was excellent. Sean Poe. What's up, Sean? Everybody says you look like Gary Sinise.
I have heard that before.
I bet you have that. There's worse people to be compared to.
Yeah,
I've been compared to like really awful people. So, you know, you get compared to movie stars. So it's
well,
awesome.
we know you're just living it up right now because the Vikings have a winning record. So
The
life is
Vikings
good.
are undefeated
I know.
in our division, and all the other teams in our division are tied for last place.
Yeah.
I just want you to know,
Life is good for Eric.
newsflash, they're all in last. Vikings are in first. Stop the season right now. Let's go to the Super Bowl. And let us play somebody bad, please. Come on. Before I die, I have to go to a Super Bowl where we win. Somebody please help me. So anyway, Sean,
Yeah.
your concepts on gathering customers.
Well, number one, I know for a fact we would not be where we are today without Eric. He has been a mentor of ours for 12 plus years. Michelle started watching stuff when he was recording in his kitchen on, I don't even know what probably a flip phone. And so I applaud each and every one of you of taking this step, first of all, because this is a step in your development in being a professional network marketer. I think, you know, for us, we have a heavy emphasis on customer acquisition. 85% of our business is customer based, and I love that. I love it. What I would suggest to you, though, is learning how to not only bring people in, but retention. If you can retain the people that are coming in, life will be much easier than churning. If you're constantly churning, you're in the sales business, and it's really difficult to have that long lasting legacy and a cement foundation for your business. So
Let me ask you a question, Sean. How much are your sales, customer sales, up month over month?
currently this morning we are up 227%.
227% month over month.
Yeah. And
with a very large organization.
Yeah.
And without getting into specifics on product,
Yep.
what is the approach that you are using? What is the basic script you're telling people to go out there and use in order to be able to convert this many customers?
So we're on the precipice of launching a new product next month. And normal cycle for us when product launches, we have excitement a little bit leading up, and then it goes through the roof when it hits the street. This has been something I haven't seen in the 13 and a half years I've been in the profession, because there's so much excitement prior to the launch. We're trying to come up with ways to manage all the people that want it. And one thing that we did 2 weeks ago, we created a brand new Facebook group where we can create promos, incentives, and get prospects in there. And in 2 weeks, we have 4,000 prospects sitting in a Facebook group that want the product. So now
using fear of missing out, using urgency, using freshness and launch. And this is something that all of you can use when your company launches a new product.
Yes.
These are tactics that all of you can use. How many of you have your company regularly adds something new? Put a 1 in the chat if your company regularly adds something new. learn from what Sean's doing right now to be able to enjoy this type of success, because you can do the same thing by creating some anticipation. It's way easier to sell something that's not here yet than sell something that has lots in the warehouse. Way easier. Okay, so around story, around fear of missing out, getting in line, being first, getting excited, having something fresh to talk about, those different types of things. So please continue.
Yeah, and seriously, every time your company releases a new product, your database starts over. Never, ever, ever take anybody off of your database. Because the reality is, we talk to people right now that for 13 years, what we've offered them wasn't of value to them. And now we have people that we have been talking to that we haven't taken off of our database, that now all of a sudden they want to hand us $170 next month. And so that's where that relationship really, really is valuable, that it's a no, not now. It's not a no forever. And so we constantly go through this, and we have 3 different phases with our customers that we go through when we have different launches. And I didn't invent this. I learned it from somebody else. We want to upsell the current customer base. And that's in two different fashions. That's either getting them to now become a voice of the products as a consultant, or adding to their current orders and average sale goes up. Number 2 is winning back the people that used to be customers and getting them back into your business. And number 3 is acquiring new, right? There's billions of people out there that have no idea what you're doing. And that's where I try to keep it super simple for our people, is that 3-step strategy is upsell, acquire new, and win back. And we do it over and over and over again. And I'm sure a lot of you, and it might be you yourself, that are saying, I don't have anybody on my database anymore. I don't have anybody that I can talk to anymore. So then you have to refresh, right? And hit a reset button somehow, whether it's with a challenge or some kind of promo or incentive, or like we were just talking about, a new product comes to market in your company that you can offer them, or maybe new science or something different with existing products. But there's always ways to reset your database. Nobody ever comes off.
Yeah, I love that. And I will tell you, there's always what you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, is an excuse to get your people to do something that they weren't going to do. And a new product creates that. An excuse to talk to people they weren't going to talk to. An excuse to go back to your old customers. An excuse to go back to your existing customers and have them add this other product to it. It's just an excuse. You could have done it anyway and added an old product to them. It would have worked. But sometimes we feel like we need a fresh excuse in order to be able to make that happen. People are asking about database. You can create your all your lists and all your database inside of NowSite. You can create customer databases inside of NowSite. All of that you can build inside of NowSite. In my opinion, it's the safest and best tool where you have complete control of everything. And your social media platforms can't turn you off, can't shut you down. Okay, so it's all set up in there, and it's getting better every single day. Ann Fisher, my dear friend, how are you?
I'm good. Feeling sassy.
You're feeling sassy. Ann is like kind of a celebrity chef as well as a network marketing professional. What is your favorite dish that you've made in the last 7 days that it was the most delicious thing that you've made?
Last night, and it was my.
What was it?
It was my made-up birria taco recipe. I made it up because I'm a wimp when it comes to spice and heat, and traditional birria tacos are spicy. So I winged it, and yeah, it's my favorite. My whole family loved it.
It went crazy? You're gonna have
It's
to send the
good.
recipe to Sarah because she's gonna want to have that for Tony.
Yes, it's amazing. I put it on my social media last night, so yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
was a good one.
and what's funny is I only share that one because she should have her own TV show because she's so hilarious and fun in doing this. But how many customers do you get just from cooking?
Thousands.
Thousands
And
of customers.
Cooking has nothing to do with my network marketing product.
She's involved in the hair care business, primarily hair care, skin care, beauty business, cosmetics. But she gets thousands of customers because she's cooking. She goes into her kitchen and cooks, and she just talks about stuff, and people want to do business with her. So there's a lesson there for all of you. All of you have something that is you're passionate about that you could do in a sparkly, fun way. And she's just doing this on normal social. She doesn't have a syndication TV deal where they locked her down. She has complete control of all of it. I want to be her agent and market her around the world. But and talk to me about you. People watch you for your tacos and your delicious treats that you make and all this other stuff that you do. How do you pivot that conversation or that viewer into a hair care customer?
I'm glad you asked that question, because I was going to say, from everybody that we heard from today, I love, and Sarah, I totally wrote that down, totally going to snag that, and I'll give you credit, but that was awesome. I'm not your traditional network marketer when it comes to how I build my client base. And it was an accident how I found this kind of weird avenue for marketing, but nothing I did worked. How many of you have ever felt that way? Like everything you're doing, you're showing up as the network marketing professional, you're talking about your sales, you're talking about your new promotions, and it's just crickets. Like that was me for 8 years until I accidentally happened on the cooking thing. And that's a story for another day. But what I learned, I think, was that people just want to trust you, right, before they do business with you. And when you show up authentically, and I'm talking primarily through your networking or your social media channels, but also this is kind of true in person. If people trust you, they will buy anything you recommend, right? Like, so build trust with your audience, no matter whether that's face-to-face or through your social media avenues, because that's what I learned. It took me a year to really build this brand that had nothing to do with what my main source of income was. So how do you pivot from, I actually asked Eric this, Eric gave me the best advice on this, because how do you pivot from cooking to hair care and beauty? I always put that little caveat though in my bio. So if people were looking at my bio as to what they're showing up to see on my social media, it's like I love beauty. I recommend beauty products all the time. And also check my stories every day because it's a circus. Buckle up, it's gonna get crazy over there. And I provide that, right? So I entertain people with my life, but I also share value with my life. So what I did very specifically for 6 to 8 months, I never talked about the product. As I was building this brand through the cooking avenue, I never talked really about the products, but I started showing up every day with my hair done. And I started showing up every day with my makeup done. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't get out a lot, so it would be real easy for me to do the messy bun, no makeup, take me as I am look. But I don't feel like I would have brought in the sales that I did because I represented the products that I represent. And so after about 5-6 months, people started saying, hey, I love your hair. Can you do a tutorial? Hey, I love your makeup. Where do you get your makeup? Hey, I love this. Where do you get that? And so then that gave me the avenue to say, well, since you asked, now I'm going to share. And I just did it from a recommendation standpoint. I never sold to people. I always just said, listen, this is my favorite, bubbly sparkling water. You should go buy that. Like I found it at Target, go get it. I made recommendations for other things. So when I led into that, it was a no-brainer. The first time I ever actually talked about my hair care products, I signed up like 20 customers in 15 minutes. And that was just through social media. And it was because they had followed me. They saw my hair every day, or they saw my makeup every day. And it's like, okay, I do love that. I'm going to buy it. No questions asked. Here's your cart, go buy it. Like that's what worked for me. I know it's a little different for everyone, but I have found, and this is something that I will die on that rock. People don't want to be sold to anymore. People want to know why they should buy it. And when you just show them Show them the results. Show them what the product is doing for you, whatever your product is. Show results from the product and then make the recommendation for why they need it. And then people will buy. They will hand you your money left and right because now they believe in you. But if they don't believe in you and they feel like you're advertising to them all the time, it's a hard pass for most people. That's how I shop. That's how I buy.
Mhm.
That's how I'm influenced online when I'm scrolling the tickety talk at 1 a.m. It's why do I need to buy it when people can show me the results? I'm a sucker for that, right? Oh yeah, I like how that looks. I'm gonna buy that.
Yep.
So make
And-
recommendations. People trust.
And one interesting pivot that you can make is if people aren't asking about your hair or they're not asking about this or whatever, and you're expressing your passion online in whatever way, whatever that is, you can say, you might wonder, how do I have time to be so into Lamborghinis? How do I have time to be working out all the time in the middle of the day? How do I have time to be having lunch with my 12-year-old in the middle of the week? How do I have time to be cooking every day and making this content for you when there's no sponsors or anything else? How do I do this? I do this because I'm connected to this business over here. And this business over here provides all I need to be able to do the things that I love. So it's a very easy pivot to just say, you might wonder, how am I doing this? How am I living this life? How am I going where I'm going? How am I doing what I'm doing? How am I enjoying my passions? How am I spending so much time with my family? I'm doing it in order to be able, I'm doing it because this business gave me the opportunity to do it. I found a product that I believed in. I found a company that I believed in. And I recommend those products because I use them. I found products that I use and I recommend them. And the company pays me a commission for doing it, and it'll pay you the same commission if you want it. So DM me if you have an interest. And then boom, off you go.
That's
So
exactly
somebody's
what I
asking-
did.
Yeah,
You recommended that. Go
Right.
ahead.
Somebody's asking, did you create a biz page for all your cooking videos, or you do them
No.
under your name?
I did them under my name because business pages restrict you in what you can post and talk about. And I wanted it to feel very authentic and just like you're in the kitchen with me. And so I kept
Facebook or Instagram?
all of them. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of them.
All of them. What gets the most traction?
Instagram right now. TikTok is building really fast. For some reason, TikTok started taking off. I had a couple videos go viral over there and that helps, but
Do you go live, or do you just send little clips?
I have a very chaotic household, so going live is kind of like you're taking a chance. You don't know what's going to be happening in the background, so I like to control the narrative a little bit.
Why? Because isn't the chaos part of the fun?
Well, I have a kid that could be streaking across the background in her underwear.
I
You just
know.
never know.
But isn't that going to make things more interesting?
Maybe so. I go live some. I don't go live as often as some people do. And I know TikTok, that's like what drives it. If you're going live, that really they fix your algorithms, but I just haven't committed to that yet. That's the next step. But Instagram's built like crazy. Facebook, it was so weird because I create the content on one platform, I download it, and then I just immediately upload it to all of them. So the same content's going to the same places, but they're very different audiences. So I bring in customers. Sometimes 1 month will be stronger on TikTok. Sometimes it'll be stronger over on Facebook. Instagram is still my primary place, but I mean, it's really kicking it kind of on all of them. So just consistency is the key on that. And then when the time comes to make the transaction or the time comes to ask for the sale, right? I took your advice, Eric, because especially with the business side, I'm like, Eric, I don't know what to do. I don't want to do the bait and switch. Like I've been talking about cooking for a year. I don't want to all of a sudden say, hey, come join my network marketing company. And he gave me the best advice. He's like, go live and get ready and just tell them, hey, I get to do all of this because of this business. Like this is my main source of income. And I did that, and I had a week of Zooms. Like my schedule filled up so fast. I had a week full of Zooms that people wanted more information because because I had built trust with them. So when I finally told them why I was in Vegas at Eric's house, who is Eric Worre, you know, like I watch you for your cooking. Who's this Eric Worre guy? You know, and I got to explain that in a very authentic way without trying to pitch them something. And so people
So
didn't feel.
so the call to action was, if you want more information, just
Yes.
schedule a Zoom,
Yep.
and I'm happy to talk with you. And that gave them the ability to be able to connect with somebody that they really have learned to like
Yep.
on a one-on-one basis.
And it worked very well. And I still do that every now and again. I'm selective. I don't do it like every day because again, with the bait and switch, but I found like my rhythm for it has worked really well. And I'm very consistent in enrolling customers and business partners.
So how often do you say, if you ever wonder how I do what I do? I do it because of this. If you want to learn more about it, then schedule a Zoom. About how often?
Probably about once a month.
About once a month. And how many customers do you sign up on a month on average?
I would say anywhere from 40 to 50 or 60 on a month. I have thousands and thousands of customers though, because I've done this for 10 years. So my customer database is pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So every
I'm
time
not
a
as
new product,
stormy.
like you guys are just launched some new products. So going back to those customers with those new products is something pretty easy to do, right?
Yes, yes. And marketing strategies, campaigns where you're staying in contact with people. I love Sean's, you know, like the way they've really been very consistent with checking back with their customers. It's a big part of it. Your customers want to feel important and they want to know that you care about them. They're not just a number in your book, that you actually care. Relationships are big there for longevity, right? And especially when you have a product that's consumable and they can come back and buy, but your customer service is going to be what makes or breaks it in the end.
Yep, agreed. So Ann, Sarah, Sean, Jeffrey, Stormy, thank you all for sharing. If you got value from these incredible people, throw a 7 in the chat. If you got some extra value, some bonus value, if it was worth your VIP experience, if you've enjoyed these 3 days that we've spent together. And put a 10 in the chat if you absolutely, positively are going to have 10 customers at least by the end of this month. Non-negotiable, no excuses, no negotiating, no bargaining, no debate. It's going to happen. Put a 10 in the chat. All right? Make it happen, okay? I want to tell you that I'm proud of you. I want to tell you that more than anything, you can do this. If you're doubting yourself, if you're wondering if you can do this, you can do this. Okay? It just starts by doing the scary thing. Face the monster, and the monster goes away. Okay? Do the scary thing. You realize, oh my gosh, it was never that scary. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on the Builder Challenge, Team Builder Challenge, October 16th through the 18th. You can go to networkmarketingpro.com/team to sign up for that and really push. If you really want to leverage that challenge on those 3 days, really push your teams to get everybody that you got in your organization, all of your friends in network marketing, into that challenge with you. Because if you do it together, you're going to get better results, okay? So it's free for those first 2 days. You have to be VIP for the third day, and we're going to blow it out on that third day with some unbelievable people. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on that Team Builder Challenge. And I'm also looking forward, will you do me a favor? Shoot me a DM on Instagram when you hit your 10 customers. Fair? When you hit your 10 customers, shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can find me. I'm the only one. I mean, there's 50 phonies, but I've got 800,000 followers or something. So find the real one. Avoid the phonies, and send me a DM with your when you hit your 10 customers. Okay? I'm looking forward to seeing it. Everybody, have an amazing rest of your day. Scripts will be coming. Workbooks will be coming to you. Replays will be, all the information will be made available to you. We'll be sending follow-up emails on everything. Make sure you're signed up on NowSite. It's all there. Get in there and get yourself educated or get left behind. Everybody have a great day. Mwah. I love you. Talk to you soon.
Your You're too tired. Keep going. You're too stressed.